The views expressed are not necessarily those of KSCJ and Powell Broadcasting Company. This program is not intended to replace the advice of doctors or other clinical providers. Consult with your practitioner to ensure the proper course of action for you.
Welcome to When Things Aren't Going Well on AM 1360, FM 94.9 KSCJ. This program is dedicated to your mental health wellness and brought to you by Family Services, a United Way partner agency. Here's your host, Art Silva.
Good morning, Siouxland. I'm Art Silva, and welcome to When Things Aren't Going Well. This show is dedicated to your mental wellness and how you can help yourself navigate the daily highway of life. Our show is brought to you by Family Services, a United Way partner agency serving the Siouxland community. Joining me today are my friends from Family Services, Chief Operating Officer Brenda Geisinger, and licensed clinical therapist Rosie Strunk. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a great way to start our day. And boy, it's starting to get cool and feel like fall. And this is really good football weather. But before we get into football weather, we're just wrapping up some baseball. And I got to tell you, I'm still off that Red Sox-Yankees high. I don't care what happens in the Tampa Bay series. The Red Sox beat the Yankees. And I can think about that all winter long. So with that, we'll start our show. And that's good for my mental health anyway. Okay, our topic today is going to be the benefits of laughter and mental health. So let's frame our topic. And Rosie, you want to lead us off? What is laughter?
Well, what I would think is laughter is a natural part of us. It's an inborn quality that we have. It's cheap. It's not expensive. And it's a part of kind of an outward expression of something that's amusing to us. You know, when we think about laughter, the first thing that comes to my mind is when I see children and I see little kids that just giggle about nothing. Yes. They just giggle about, picking up something or this little box over here or whatever. And they just enjoy just whatever they're doing. And it makes us smile.
It's kind of contagious, isn't it?
Oh, my goodness. When we have laughter, it can be contagious. And it helps us feel better in a lot of ways, in a sense. And so we need laughter in our life. And that helps us with our mental health in a lot of different ways when we are expressing ourselves in a way that's joyful and happy. And laughter is one of those ways.
You know, Rosie, I like what you say, and I want to refer Bill Belichick to you and see if you can help that guy out. Okay, Bill Belichick, the coach of the New England Patriots, doesn't smile too much, So do we laugh enough? Let me ask you that.
I think when I brought up about children, they laugh about lots of stuff. But as we get older, I think that we sometimes lose our laughter, or maybe not lose it, but it maybe goes dormant a little bit. And I think that sometimes we have to bring it back into our lives and look at things from different perspectives and see the humor in some of the things that ends up happening for us. I remember, and this is just so vivid because we're over, our office changed and we're at Indian Hills. And it used to be the Sunshine Grocery Store. And I remember I walked out of there one time and I fell flat on my face. It was whatever. And so people were running around me and I was getting up and I was laughing and I was going, now I know what it feels like to fall flat on your face. Rather than being embarrassed about it, which I was, but I, looked at it from a standpoint of making it seem comical and not just being so worried about how I was looking all over the place. But
when you fall, that's the first thing you do when you get up. You look. Did anybody see me fall?
Yeah.
You look around and say, "I do this, okay," and have some dignity about this fall. But that is, But you mentioned something. You kind of laugh at yourself, and that is like the first step. If you can laugh at yourself, you got that laughter quotient in there. So let me ask you, Rosie, help me out. What are some of the physical benefits of laughter?
Well, when you stop and think about laughter, it gives us a different energy. When we're stressed out, our body is tense, we can't move very good. But when we're laughing, what ends up happening with our body? When you stop and think about it, we become more relaxed. It relieves a tension for us. The other thing that laughter does is we have some chemicals in our brain that's called endorphins, and that's the good feeling kind of chemicals. And when we're laughing and see the humor in things, then those chemicals get activated, and so we have our feel good. And that's just a natural kind of body reaction in a sense. We also look at stress. And stress is so much a part of our lives in so many different ways. And there are stress hormones that we have. And when we're laughing, it releases different hormones for us. And it, again, helps us kind of be with life in a different way. And I think about, even our heart, it protects our heart. It gets our organs going in a little different way. It's just a lot of interesting physical kinds of reactions that we have with laughter.
Well, I'm Art Silva, and with me today are Rosie Strunk from Family Services and Brenda Geisinger, and we are talking about laughter in your mental health. One thing, Rosie, I really appreciate is a good joke teller. Sometimes people could just kind of come in and just break the air and get people laughing, and I think that's I would look at that as being like something welcomed. In a group, that fun person that you anticipate coming in and kind of lightening things up. They're always welcomed in a crowd. You talked about the physical benefits of laughter. What are some of the mental health benefits of laughter?
Well, there's a lot of mental health benefits in a sense. When we're laughing, that takes away a sense of anxiety. It takes away a sense of depression because you aren't feeling depressed and stuff when you're laughing. And so that's one of the things that can be a benefit for a lot of us in the sense of helping us with some of those mental health issues that we might have. With laughter, it also improves our mood. I mean, when we're laughing, it makes a big difference with our mood. And we are lighter in a sense. When I think about times when we have a good belly laugh, what happens when we have a good belly laugh? Brenda?
I think it does this whole mind shift of everything seems more positive. You can see things a little more clear and you just relax. It's like this breath of fresh air, but you're giving it to yourself. It's just like, whoo.
Yep. And I think that there are things in regards to it can revitalize us. Sometimes laughter can get us to look at something in our life from a different perspective. And when we lighten our mood, we can maybe look at something less stressful or see it maybe less complicated, or it can take care of some of our feelings that we might be having. Because when we're laughing, like if we're angry about something and we look at the humor in something, that anger kind of dissipates. And so then that might have been a barrier that maybe is creating us not looking at something in a way from another perspective. So laughter and looking at something from a comical point of view can make a difference in how we handle circumstances.
It's laughter alone is fun. You can just laugh at yourself or laugh at nobody else's expense. But laughter in a group can be really good too. When you get a group laughing together, it brings closer together. It brings you contact. It gets rid of some of the anxieties, as you mentioned, and the fears. And so I'd like to see offices where you hear a lot of laughing. I know in our office, I'd love to hear when people are laughing and stuff like that, because that's a healthy environment, I think. So I think looking at laughter and some of the benefits. How about taking a look at can laughter decrease pain?
It can, because when you're looking at feeling a lot of pain, that when we're looking at something that's comical or looking at something to lighten our mood and we're laughing, sometimes that pain goes away. And it makes a difference with, managing it. Because sometimes pain management is about bringing laughter into our life and making it seem not as complicated.
If you're delivering a baby Sometimes that laughter is just that final push you need. It's like, whoo, made that one through.
Well, I can't relate to that, but I'm going to take your word for it. And I would try that next time to see if I get a smile back. I said, "Arr." But anyhow, we're going to talk more. We're coming up on our break. And don't touch that dial, because we'll be right back here on When Things Aren't Going Well on 1360 94.9 KSCJ.
Let's face it, that happens to all of us. However, the pandemic has compounded all of our lives and activities. Even the simplest tasks seem harder. Hi, I'm Brenda Geisinger, the Chief Operating Officer at the Boys and Girls Home and Family Services. Family Services is a United Way partner agency serving children and families of our community, and we're here to help. If you'd like to learn more about Family Services, please contact us via email, website, Facebook, or phone Mary Pickens. At Family Services, we change lives.
Welcome back to When Things Aren't Going Well on KSCJ. Here's Art Silva.
Welcome back to When Things Aren't Going Well. I'm Art Silva, along with Brenda Geisinger and Rosie Strong from Family Services. And today we are discussing laughter and mental health. So let's continue our discussion, and let's talk about, Rosie, if you could help us on the social benefits of laughter.
Well, I really believe that when people get together and they share laughter together, you develop a bond. There's a strengthening of relationships when you're also laughing together and enjoying each other and having fun together. So laughter on a social perspective, it brings people together and it helps people connect with each other. Sometimes when you're in a group and you're hearing laughter and you're going, oh, I wonder what's so funny over there. I really want to walk over there and just see what it's funny in a sense. And so sometimes it's important to just go do that, because then you can join the group and join in the laughter, and it makes you feel a part of. I think with couples and looking at doing therapy with couples, one of the things that I will talk to them about is, where's the laughter in your relationship? And how do you guys laugh together? How do you guys and have fun times in the sense of that you laugh together? And also, do you sometimes laugh, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, but laugh at each other in a sense of seeing the comicalness of sometimes arguments over things that are maybe you're going, maybe it's not worth arguing about it in the big sense. And so in working with couples, I've done that a lot. And also in working with families, because sometimes families, we just get so doggone busy. We're running children here and there and whatnot. And I've often talked about at supper tables, how do you guys talk about what made you laugh today? What made you feel good today? What brought a smile to you today? Because smiling is free and laughter is free. And sometimes we lose that also in the process of just being so busy. And it's so much fun because I've had families come back and say, yeah, we sat down at a supper table like you told us to, and we were talking about, each one talked about what made them feel good today and what did they laugh about today. And we just had a riot, just talking about all that kind of stuff. And so dinner time was a totally different type of experience than what it was with just eating.
You talk about the social side of things, and I think laughter is contagious. You get around someone that has a good laugh, and the minute they laugh, you're laughing. Now, Brenda's got a good laugh. I like when Brenda laughs, it kind of like makes you want to chuckle. And I think, I just ask myself, why aren't people doing more laughing? Where have we gotten? Is it the media effect? Even with the news, I can find humor. So now what the hell are we talking about that about? That's got nothing to do. That's just so foolish. But I think it's all starts with where you're balanced at, where you are, how do you want to view things, half full, half empty. And a sense of humor is a tremendous weapon. I think it really does a lot to disarm people, open doors, get rid of misconceptions, especially when you meet somebody for the first time. How many times do you come back and say, that person has a dry sense of humor, but they're funny. This person is very witty, and you enjoy it, but you come out of it feeling better. So I think
you come out of it feeling included.
Yeah, that's right. You're part of the group. Exactly.
You betcha.
So a good social benefit to laughter. you don't hear too much laughter. Everybody's serious and down to their business and stuff. Are some people unable to laugh?
Go ahead.
I think sometimes people just get so caught up in the day to day and feeling down, they have forgotten how to find the beauty and the joy in being happy or having even a smile. You know, with the mask, you can tell when a person has a smile in their eyes and just connected to them, even if you're in line waiting at the grocery store. And finding those silly moments. I know with my kids, when they were younger, I would dance literally in the aisles. If the kids were fighting, I'm like, you want mama to dance? And they would like, oh, please, mom, don't. But they would laugh because they were so embarrassed, but yet it was funny. And it just kind of broke things up. And so it's sometimes creating a laugh, but people have to remember how to do that. And even if you have to practice, I'm going to make myself laugh. You kind of get used to it again.
Well, there was something I got in trouble with for laughing. You would believe that? My mother would not. She was not really a Three Stooges fan, and I was. And my wife didn't let me watch it in front of the kids. And she said, that's violence. And then they hurt somebody. Then they started cleaning up the Tom and Jerry cartoons. And I get it. I get why. But that stuff was funny, because there was a cartoon, Roadrunner. He was always going to get the short end of the deal. It's just stuff like that. We grew up watching cartoons. And cartoons were funny. We don't watch cartoons anymore. I mean, Rocky and Bullwinkle was sophisticated cartoons, The Flying Squirrel. I mean, these are the memories I have.
Yes.
And they're so enjoyable, and they're so vivid to this day. Even going back to Bazooka Joe, bubblegum in rappers, comics. Everything is kind of, we stopped laughing. We just don't seem to have that, looking at life as being funny and easy and not so serious, as Brenda mentioned, and caught up in the moment of everything.
Well, I know, Art, you talked about contagious. And I remember you talk in the sense of childhood. I remember being at slumber parties when we were growing up as teenagers, and we would lay on top of there would be a bunch of girls, and we would put our head on somebody's belly, and somebody put the side on and then we'd simulate laughter. And so somebody would start laughing, and then the next person started laughing, and then the next person started, and then all of us were laughing, and we weren't laughing about anything in particular. We were just laughing. And just doing that, even if it's not something that has happened, simulated laughter can be contagious too, and it can still make an impact on you, in a sense.
Okay, I'm going to ask both of you guys, ladies, do you have any tips for developing a sense of humor? Some people are just so, they need to develop a sense of humor. Any tips there?
Well, one of the things that I tend to do is I think about something that was funny that has happened to me, and it'll bring a smile to my face. I sometimes will, read certain comic books or items that are funny. One of the things that I've done as a therapist is when I have people come into my office, I'll say, well, what made you smile today? Or what happened today that really made you laugh? Or I'll tell them a joke. Like, what did the one wall say to the other wall? I'll meet you in the corner. That's my joke for today.
Okay.
But sometimes it just lightens the mood. And when I've done group work, that I will sometimes do that too, where it will just lighten the mood. So looking at jokes, sometimes there is doing something silly, like Brenda talked about, dancing in the
grocery aisles,
aisle kind of stuff. Sharing funny jokes, funny stories. There are sometimes when you, I think, talked a little while earlier, Art, there are storytellers. Some people can tell stories about things that just get you on a roll, and it's something really simple kind of stuff. And so I think it's looking at those kinds of things, looking at a YouTube story, whatever. Those things can be happening that makes laughter come into our life.
Well, this has been very interesting, and you talked about therapists and how therapists use humor in their daily practice, and I think it's a forgotten tool that we have. So the challenge to everybody this week is to go off and try to find that forgotten tool, and use humor to get yourself out of a situation. Try it. Out of a tense deal, out of maybe a potential argument. Look at the silver lining. Look at how important is this. It's probably small stuff. And use humor to help get you there.
And laughter's free.
And laughter is free, right. And you use you smile and everything else comes back really good. We're coming up on the end of our show for this week, and we want to leave you with a little humor since this is our topic for the week. And this humor is for your mental wellness. So let's go see if I can make some folks laugh out there. On opening his new store, a man received a bouquet of flowers. He became dismayed on reading the enclosed card. It expressed deepest sympathy. While puzzling over the message, his telephone rang. It was the florist, apologizing for having sent the wrong card. "Oh, it's all right," said the storekeeper. "I'm a businessman, and I understand how these things can happen. But," added the florist, "I accidentally sent your card to a funeral party." "Well, what did it say?" asked the storekeeper. "Congratulations on your new location," was the reply. Hey, listen, everybody. We'll be back here. We want to thanks Brenda, thanks Rosie, thanks our listening audience, and shout-outs to Terry Niedekazes for her beautiful music on Sunday mornings. We're hiring. Check out the employment opportunities at Boys and Girls Home and Family Services on our website. Join us next Saturday morning at 7 a.m. for When Things Aren't Going Well right here at 1360 94.9 KSCJ. Our topic will be mental health and nutrition and the Fairway Roundup. Your homework this week is to go out and have a good laugh. May the sun shine on you, and peace.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Happy trails.